What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Barbecue. What I'm going to be doing today is some salmon croquettes. Earlier this week I made 2 salmon recipes. I did air fryer salmon, I did cedar plank salmon, and we had leftovers from both of those. So I figured what better than make salmon croquettes with those leftovers. If you don't have any leftover salmon, just use the cans that you can buy at the store for this recipe. Anyway, first thing I need to do for this recipe is go ahead and make the sauce that we're going to put over the top of them. And I want this to chill out for a couple hours before we get started. So let's get to making that sauce. Now this is something that I usually throw together, but I am going to leave a recipe for this into the description. You don't have to use all of these ingredients, or you can kind of change them up yourself, but you just want something that's going to kind of go good with the salmon croquette. So anyway, I have our mayonnaise. I have some chopped onions, some dill pickles, lemon juice, a little bit of sugar, pepper, fresh dill. Now I'm going to be using some capers in our salmon recipe, but I'm going to use a little bit of this brine. With that, well, dang, got most of that on the cart, but we're going to use some of that brine. Now I'm just going to hit it with just a little bit of this Worcestershire sauce. This happens to be Cajun Power Worcestershire sauce. And just like a couple dashes of that. And we're just going to mix it up. Alright, so this is all put together. I'm going to throw this in the refrigerator for 2 hours, and then we'll go ahead and start on these salmon croquettes. Now when it comes to making salmon croquettes, there's really no right or wrong way to do it. Salmon croquettes are almost like preparing a meatloaf. Meatloafs you can get kind of as basic or as extravagant as you want with the ingredients. I've done this several different ways. As a matter of fact, I'm going to leave a link in the iCard above right here. Take a look at that video. It's probably a lot different than even this one is. Anyway, let's get on and take a look at what these ingredients are. We're rolling with these. So these are my ingredients. I will be leaving a list of my ingredients in the description below. First of all, I'm starting off with what I'm guessing is about 1.5 pounds of cooked salmon. I'm going to be using breadcrumbs. I'm just going to use as little or as much as I need. You got to kind of eyeball that. We have some mayonnaise, some fresh dill, some rough chopped capers, garlic, red onions that have been diced, celery diced, mustard, lemon juice, egg. For the seasoning, Old Bay seasoning would be fine, even just salt and pepper. But what I'm going to be using is a seasoning that was sent to me by one of my YouTube friends, Rich over at Rich's River Smokers, West Virginia, sent me. He came out with a new spice. Actually, I'm pretty impressed with this. It's called Rich's River Dirt, and he sent me a few, but I'm going to be going with the hot and spicy on this, and we're just going to go ahead and season that to taste. Anyway, let's go ahead and start putting this together. So at this point, it's just a matter of basically throwing everything together. So let's go ahead and do that. As far as the Rich's River Dirt goes, I am going to go ahead and leave a link in the description where you can go and check that stuff out. And I'm going to leave a link to his YouTube channel in the iCard above and the description below. Run by there, show him some love. And we are definitely going to get busy with our hands on this. You know, you see me wearing these black gloves. If I was just doing this for home, I'd just be getting busy with my ungloved hands, but you know how it is. Might as well cut down on the negative comments as much as you can. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and add this breadcrumbs later on down the road once I have this kind of formed up, just so I know exactly how much I need to add to firm these patties up. Now it's the fun part. Let's go ahead and get in here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add this seasoning to taste, as much or as little as you'd like. I think that should be good there. I'm going to go ahead and add some of these breadcrumbs now. And we're going to mix it and check for some consistency. And everything in here seems to be incorporated pretty well. Still looks like we need some more breadcrumbs. You want this to be able to form a patty. So, and these are Panko breadcrumbs, so Sometimes these breadcrumbs actually take a while to absorb, you know, the liquid that's in this. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this in and let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then we'll check and see how we're looking. So this is right where I want it. Looks like it's gonna hold together well for these patties. Now there's a couple different routes you can go on this. We could go ahead and dust it with some of this, some of these panko breadcrumbs, flour, or something like that. I'm looking for something a little bit more clean tasting, so we're not going to be adding anything to this. We're just going to make these patties and fry them up. So let's get started with that. So I'm going to be forming these patties, and I'm going to put them on some parchment paper. And as far as the patties go, we're going to want them to be, I'd say, about an inch thick. But you can have them as flat as you want. This is all about personal preference right here. Man, this looks good. Go ahead and get a skillet out, and we're gonna heat that up to like a almost just under like a medium-high heat. So we have our skillet. We're gonna be going at a medium-high. I happen to be using an avocado oil. I really like this. It has a real clean flavor, and it's a very high temperature oil. And we're just gonna kind of go with like a semi-light coating. We have our oil humming. Let's go ahead and get these in. You're not going to want to crowd them. We'll be able to do 4 at a time. Now these really only need to cook for about 2 minutes aside. Remember, this salmon is already fully cooked. All right, they look like they're releasing. Let's go ahead and flip them. Got some nice color on them, and these are going to go for about another 2.5 minutes. Alright guys, this is a wrap. I'm going to go ahead and set these off on a broiler pan, but a wire rack or anything that would allow any of this oil to drip off would be fine. There's really not that much of it anyway. I'm going to cook off these other 3. Going to plate it up, do a taste test, see what's up. That's a done deal. That's what it looks like. I went ahead and plated one up, add a little bit of that sauce we made earlier. I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze just a tad bit of lemon juice on here. Gonna get into it right quick, see what's up. This is awesome. You know what? For what I was looking for tonight, I think I was better off not adding any breadcrumbs or flour or anything like that. Nice, clean flavor. But listen, like I said, don't stress out about this. If you want to hook up some salmon croquettes, don't feel like you need to be stuck by any recipe. Add your own stuff, get creative. I'm sure it'll turn out great. Anyway, thanks for stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.